G'day, ZiggyD here, and welcome back for part 31 of the Path of Exile Survival Guide. It has been a couple of days since my last episode, part 30, which I did before Christmas. It's now post-Christmas, and I'm ready to get back into it. I've actually been pretty excited to get back into this series. The characters are doing pretty well, and we're at a point now where we need to start doing some serious sort of progression and gear progression into Merciless. As you can see, we've just made it into Act 2 Merciless, and this first episode is mostly going to be about progression. I'm thinking the plan is going to be to head up, grab the waypoint, and then go grab the waypoint within Fell Shrine Ruins to essentially be able to farm the Fell Shrine zone, and we'll probably head over to the left, get the Western Forest waypoint, and also do the side quest in there, which gives us a free skill point as well. So I think that'll be our progression for this first episode. Now, at this point, Fell Shrine is the best farming spot if you're a hardcore player or if you're a softcore player that isn't very well geared at the moment. I don't know whether we'll need to do much Fell Shrine farming on this character. We have a decent amount of wealth recently just from, you know, picking up currency as we've gone and from selling Tabula Rasa recently. So there's a few things I can do in terms of upgrades. Also, I have 3 chromatics. I remember I was trying to get, if I get, what I need 2 red and 2 green on this falling here, and I can switch out to a better pair of boots. Please! Oh wow, like chromatic item there. No? Alright, no luck yet. Oh, now I can't equip my elemental weakness. No! Oh well, we're not off to a very good start. That's unfortunate. Someone did point out in the comments of the last video, while I'm here actually thinking about elemental weakness, that conductivity is also a good curse, and I would definitely agree with that. Conductivity, you know, since we're running lightning arrow, especially with lightning damage on this particular bow here, our primary damage against our groups is going to be lightning damage. We're not using anything like added fire on our multi-target. Now we are using added fire on a single target, but the curse isn't really too big a deal for the single target. We can just kind of stick with our normal damage and that's fine. Otherwise, if we can run both elemental weakness and conductivity, we can use conductivity against mob packs, benefit from that extra chance to shock, which is going to help us out a fair bit in dealing extra damage against large packs, and then just use elemental weakness for frenzy. We can even use projectile weakness for frenzy as well. Any of those are good options. You have quite a few options in terms of curses, but basically elemental weakness, conductivity, or projectile weakness are all good. Projectile weakness is only really not good if you have chains set up on your main attack here, which we do now. So unfortunately, I don't have that curse now. I'm going to have to wait until I get some more chromatic items. Should probably check the vendor since we just arrived in town here. And there might actually be some chromatic items. There's one. Bam. Let's see if we can find any others. Oh, no, not quite. I always end up missing one, so I'm trying to be thorough. Because you guys always point out that I've missed one. Well, there's one. Maybe we'll get lucky on this one. Maybe I'll at least get a blue socket back. And I'm still hoping for 2 red, 2 green for that. And then I can probably use a blue on my boots or something like that. But, there's 1 red. That doesn't really help us out that much. What are we currently running? Is there anything else we can do with this? Let's check out. We should have some extra ones in our secondary slot here. We've got physical projectile attack damage. We could run that instead of added fire, which would work. It's not a net benefit, but it will allow us to put on new boots. This might actually be an option. Added fire is objectively better than physical projectile attack damage. We do more damage with physical projectile attack damage, but the less projectile attack speed is a bit of a concern. But I think I'll go for this for now, because it's going to allow me to upgrade my boots. So this is kind of the thing you have to do when leveling an attack-based build especially, or, you know, or something that your links are pretty important. You have to do a bit of sort of shuffling around of skills and just sort of work with whatever you can. Now, I'm pretty sure I want Life Leech over added fire, because that's a huge survivability boost against single targets. But I could potentially switch out Life Leech with added fire and have a lot of extra damage there. I'll just keep this aside for now. Let's see what we can do in terms of our boots now. We did have some boots lined up. They're not amazing, but they are a bit of an upgrade. These ones have very low resist, just the 20% move speed, pretty low evasion and armor overall, and no life at all. These have a moderate life roll. 40 is pretty average now, but still better than nothing. The increased rarity is, you know, just an extra bonus, and the lightning resistor is much higher, so it's going to help us probably almost bring our lightning resist up pretty high. What's it currently here? It'll be pretty close to cap. That'll bring us up to about 60. So let's go ahead and equip those. And these boots really aren't that good. They're probably not really even worth keeping, so I'm just going to go ahead and sell them. Hopefully I don't regret that. I don't think I will. But we'll sort this out here. I can now just level this guy in here, and I don't have any more chromatics yet, unfortunately, but once I do, I'll be able to put that gem back in here, maybe get a blue on there. But there's a nice little life upgrade. We're up to 3k life now, and our resists are looking 60, 60, and 37. Good thing, there's no real fire except for in Western Forest, the exploding mobs, but they're pretty easy to avoid, so we can be just aware of that fact, and cold resist will keep us out of trouble for moving through. Lightning resist is mostly for Chamber of Sins. Not too much to worry about in terms of resist, just in this progression straight up now. But let's go into the old fields, and I'm going to head my way towards the waypoint. We're going to make sure to grab the waypoint. I'm not going to do the bear side quest in here. We can do it later, but because it's a much higher level side zone, like all side quest zones in Merciless, it's a good idea to not do it now because it's going to be pretty dangerous. Those things in there hit really hard, and they're going to hit extra hard, you know, when we're just first coming into this zone. So it has been a while since I played. I might be a little bit rusty, but I'll see how I go. Oh, still loving the AoE damage from the lightning arrow there once it connects and gets a good chain happening. Pretty nice stuff. Shame I don't have the curse set up at the moment, but maybe I can switch out. I'm pretty sure temporal chains is a green one though, so I can't really switch it out for that. Oh well, I'll stick with that for now. Alright, so here's the waypoint in the crossroads here, so we're going to make sure we grab that, and we can pretty much head straight down into Fellshrine now. You can really see the shock stacks starting to take effect on these human mobs there. A bit harder on these blue ones, but when I'm hitting the white ones, we're seeing a lot of shock stacks happen now, just from the you know, the effect of the chain lightning arrows bouncing around so much and getting so many hits in there. That percentage chance to actually shock them really multiplies out pretty nicely. You also see that I'm running life gain on hit now instead of weapon elemental. Like, sure, I lose some damage, quite a bit of damage really on chain. Let's check that out. Yeah, about 100 DPS there, but with the way that chain lightning arrow multiplies out, we're getting 90% damage bonus sometimes from shock stacks anyway, so I find we're doing quite a bit of damage, and the life gain on hit, so extra survivability is really nice. However, that said, if we're going to farm Fellshrine now, you can go pretty much straight damage in Fellshrine, because, you know, I've showed off Fellshrine before, but look what you're fighting. These guys, like, as a ranged character, they're just never going to hit you. However, you know, I guess the advantage of running life gain on hit is it makes us immune to reflect, as you can see, just taking no damage from the reflect there. Let's see for a comparison there if we switch out to weapon Ellie. This is only a small pack, but you can see we're taking a fair bit of reflect damage, even only against these two mobs here. When there's a really large pack, we're going to take a lot more. So the life gain on hit certainly helps out, just in terms of survivability. If you're playing on hardcore, you probably want to run that as well. It's going to be slightly slower, but the fact you don't have to back off to heal and stuff kind of counteracts it a little bit anyway. So I'm going to run through, pretty much just do a straight run of the road here. I'm going to skip golems. Generally the best, especially as a lightning arrow build, you see all these guys resist lightning here. And although you can work them down, it's not really worth the time it takes. So we stick to just killing the zombies, and we kill off these packs pretty reasonably quickly there. And we're just going to look for big packs of those, and packs for blues and things, packs of blue zombies and skeletons and things like that. So we'll kill off all these guys. These are pretty nice. And you see our sustain with life gain on hit there is pretty awesome. Okay, so this brings us to a pretty interesting point. If we check the zone level of Fellshrine Ruins, you see it's monster level 59 zone. Now, the Chaos Orb recipe, now this is a recipe when you trade a full set of level 60 plus gear, a full set of rare level 60 plus gear to the vendor, you get a Chaos Orb back. Now this is a guaranteed Chaos Orb every now and then as you're farming. The real bottleneck for this recipe is things like rings and amulets. So moving forwards, we're probably going to be alching rings and amulets for ourselves, alching or chancing them, and getting quite a few that way, while also having the potential to find upgrades for our own rings and amulets by the fact that we're kind of turning over a lot of rare rings and amulets. Like, for example, it would be pretty easy to upgrade this by taking this one here, and you know, if I happen to alch or chance this into something pretty nice, you know, with some life and resist, or maybe a little bit of damage on it, something like that, it's probably going to be much better than that one there, you know. So we're gonna start looking into doing that. But the most important thing is starting to check, be aware of this fact that eye level 60 plus items can drop in here. Now, not all items are going to be eye level 60 plus in here. As a level 59 base zone, level 59 gear is going to be the baseline. Now, if I pick up something like this and type in /item level, This one's 59. You can see this dropped off a white mob. However, this ring here, I'm pretty sure, actually dropped off a rare mob that I just killed. So it's actually level 61. So rare mobs are going to drop level 61 gear, and blue packs are going to drop level 60 gear. Now, if you want to start farming for the Chaos Orb recipe to give yourself some currency, if you're really struggling getting here and you need to start progressing your character by buying better gear and you need the currency to do so, you haven't really found any good drops like, we had an Exalted Orb drop. That's pretty lucky. So if that hasn't happened for you, then you want to start paying attention to this and just start thinking about doing blue pack and rare pack runs through here. So we're going to basically just run up the road or just crisscross through the zone and hunt down all of these packs and try and collect as many high eye level rares as we can. Like for example, this one here is, that was a level 58 unfortunately, so that one's not going to cut it. But we're going to keep an eye out for any that are level 60 plus, and then especially for Jewelry, we're going to think about alking, chancing those as well, or maybe just keeping the alks to trade with. You have a few options there. Chancing is always a pretty good option for especially gold rings, and 2-stone rings are pretty decent as well. But I'm going to start keeping an eye out for that, and we'll see how we go. That chest had some potential, but it's rolled pretty badly overall. So I'm going to continue through and grab this waypoint. Here's a nice blue pack here. You'll see we get pretty decent amount of XP from killing these blue packs and stuff through here. And all this stuff dies pretty quickly. Pretty easy to kill, very safe and very decent XP. Not great, like you can Western Forest or Chamber of Sins is faster XP overall, but this is much safer. That's why it's such a popular farming zone for people trying to progress, especially in hardcore. Now that all said about the Chaos Orb recipe and everything in here, if you can get away with not doing it, oh, that's a big reflect pack there. I just sort of saw that on their feet, but since I'm running life gain on hit, not an issue at all. But, as I was saying, although you can start doing the Chaos Orb recipe here, in practice, it's never something I've actually worried about in this point in the game. I generally just grab a few levels here, get some upgrades if I need them, like maybe I find a few rare upgrades or something like that. See what I can do, maybe find some higher level jewelry and start alking or chancing that for myself. Or maybe I'll just, get some drops and buy stuff. But I've never really had to stop and farm in here for too long on any sort of decent build. I've made some pretty bad builds that had to farm in Felshrine for a very long time. But if you're struggling, then maybe it's either you just haven't taken the time to upgrade your gear properly yet, or maybe your build's struggling at this point, or or maybe you just need to spend a little bit of time. You've had a bad streak of luck. We're going to grab the waypoint anyway. We can grab some levels in here, but I'm probably just going to continue my straight up progression. Much better way of getting Chaos Orbs is to simply push through Act 2, get into Act 3, push through Act 3 and start farming Piety. That's going to give you tons more currency and items than trying to farm in Felshrine for too long. Generally, try and minimize the amount of time you spend in these lower level zones as much as possible, and only farm them if you need to. So now, having grabbed Felshrine, I'm going to go back to the Forest Encampment, and we're going to head off to the Western Forest. I might try my luck on this ring first, though. It's just a decent level ring. We have a few chances. I'll go for the chance. I'll keep my alk for now. It's a low one. There we go. 200 accuracy. Nothing on that one. So I'm just going to go ahead and straight up sell this. I'm not going to worry about it at all. And, oh, we only got a scroll fragment for one of those. But we've also collected up another flask there to do. In fact, this one here is just blue. Let's actually... It's nice idea to keep one of these for certain maps and zones that you're struggling for that type of resistance. So I'll probably keep that quality one to use instead, because it's going to increase the duration on that. So we'll stick with that one ourselves. And oh man, not having the vendor's scamming me a little bit. I feel like it's not really giving me any alteration shards for magic items. I'm getting ripped off. Oh, here's a massive Ellie Reflect pack. Oh, life gain on hit still coming through there. So I've had a few people asking me about like life gain on hit versus life leech. Man, look at the reflect appearing on my character when I shoot, because it like multiplies out each time I hit a reflect mob. It's like super bright on my character. I've never seen that effect so bright. It's insane. But that's because I generally don't attack into a massive reflect pack like that unless I'm super confident I can survive it like right now. But anyway, back to life leech versus life gain on hit. Life gain on hit only works with attacks straight up, so if you're playing a spell-based build, life gain on hit is not going to be the one for you. You're going to want to use life leech for your sustain/healing. But with an attack-based build, you have the option of life gain on hit versus life leech. Life leech is better if you hit less often but deal larger amounts of damage. Like for example, we're already using life leech on frenzy, and it's fairly effective. You can leech more potentially with life leech than you can on life gain on hit. However, life gain on hit is a flat amount of healing each time you actually hit an enemy. Now with something like lightning arrow that hits many times, it hits 3 times each time we fire an arrow. Then each one of those chains, because we're using the chain support gem, so that's an extra 2 hits for each projectile. And then each one of those projectiles sends an arc off to, where is it? Hit up to 3 additional enemies per target. So you can see the numbers multiplying out of how many actual targets we're hitting each time we do it. So we're healing a pretty significant amount, and much more than life leech is probably going to give us for a very long time, until we get to pretty high level and have really nice gear, and we're dealing a lot of damage with lightning arrow. Then life leech starts to heal a fair bit more from that point on. But at this point in the game, life gain on hit's still much better, and indeed for a lot of builds at endgame, if they're hitting fast and hitting a lot of targets very quickly, life gain on hit will probably always be the best option for them. And it's funny, because you don't see that many people use life gain on hit, I think. People tend to undervalue a little bit. Now the other part of the equation is that life gain on hit is an instant heal. So whereas life leech heals a larger amount over a short duration, so it's kind of capped as well at 20% of your overall life. Life gain on hit isn't subject to any of this. It heals instantly. That means when you take things like reflect damage, which happens instantly as well, it instantly heals you at the same time you're taking that damage. So it's much easier to keep yourself alive against reflect. Whereas if you're taking a lot of reflect damage very quickly and leeching life back, you're going to heal, and it's going to help quite a lot. But you can actually still work your life down pretty quickly before your life leech has sort of healed it back up. So you'll have to back off sometimes when using life leech, or be careful, you always have to be careful you're not going to one-shot yourself. But be careful that you're not going to sort of work your health down too quickly. You might have to back off, wait for that life leech a second, and then start attacking again. Whereas that's not an issue with life gain on hit. So for our current setup, life gain on hit is much better on lightning arrow, chain lightning arrow like this for both reflect and just for pure healing. It's a very fast heal, and we can pretty much, get surrounded by these guys. As long as we're actually attacking enemies, no matter how much damage they're dealing, as long as they're not one-shotting us, we're going to heal all of our life back up pretty quickly. So it's a pretty nice option now. So into Blackwood, hopefully that sort of explains it, but it's always going to be something you're just going to want to test out yourself. So, if you have these gems, we can switch them out. We can see, alright, we can switch the life leech to our chain here. We can actually sort of see how that works. I can take some damage and sort of just feel it out, like do as much testing as you can with each of your builds. As you can see, that heals very quickly, but it's not instant. You can see my health sort of really quickly stream up there as the life leech takes effect. So still very effective, but the instantaneous hit of life gain on hit is really, really solid at the moment. So we'll switch back to that. And not to mention life gain on hit is terrible for Frenzy, because we're only ever hitting one target, and the power of Frenzy is in how much damage it deals per each hit. It has fast attack speed, but nowhere near hitting as many targets as a chain lightning arrow is. So be pretty careful of fire in this zone. We have only 37% resist. These guys deal fire, as you can see, so we want to watch out for that. And I think Devourers also deal fire as well. I'm actually not 100% on that. I'm pretty sure their ranged attack is fire, though. It might be Fire Fizz or something like that, but I'm pretty sure it's fire. So we want to watch out for those as well as these guys here. I'm pretty confident with my life gain on hit, but you might want to be a bit more cautious of it if it's your sort of first run through, or if you're still not so sure about your healing capabilities and things like that. Now do make sure you grab the waypoint in here. Here it is, I almost missed it. Almost scooted down around the right. And then we're going to continue to leave the zone. We'll come back later on and do the Weaver's Chambers as per usual. Pretty much the same route we always take in Act 2 as to what we've always taken, I guess. Whereas, in Act 1 we sort of would do the side quests before, and this time we waited before doing them. This time around in Act 2, we're actually pretty much doing the same thing. The only thing you don't want to do is like go into the crypt there, because that's going to be like a higher level zone. Even then, it's actually not a big jump there in Merciless. So the only thing I guess was the Great White Beast in the Crossroads is a fairly high level jump. But even then, it's not really a big deal. It's not super dangerous. So I don't think there's anything too much to worry about. So we just take the same base progression through Act 2. Now I think actually we should test this. /passives. Where is it? Normal, cruel, the way forward. So we need to get way forward, that's fine. Maroon, Dweller, normal, cruel, merciless. Okay, so we want to do the Maroon Mariner, which is, if we go back to Act 1, is the Fairgraves quest, I believe. So we're going to want to go back and do that. I wasn't sure if I'd taken that yet. That's that /passives is handy tip to know there. This is a pretty dangerous pack of snakes here. But as you can see, this is basically the way I'm working my way through this zone, just sort of stutter stepping, attacking these guys. And, you know, I take a fair bit of damage from their fire attacks, but whoa, watching those Devour strikes there. But as long as I, you know, attack every second or so, I'm gonna keep myself healed up pretty fully. And as long as I don't get surrounded or something like that. Thankfully, with, you know, a setup like this, we have I don't really need lightning damage. Actually, I should probably grab that. I don't know if I have one or not. There we go. But we have Unwavering Stance, which means we're not going to get stunned. If you don't have Unwavering Stance, that's something you need to be conscious of when trying to, like, stutter step your way through a zone like this. You might be going all fine, like if we're doing this now, you know, we're healing fine, it's all good, but all of a sudden, a Devourer crits us, and we get stunned. Our character can't run anymore, and during that time, you'll die. So if you're not running Unwavering Stance, you want to be maybe a little bit more cautious if you have the potential to be stunned. See, our characters as well, without any sort of Unwavering Stance or anything like that, can have pretty good potential to be frozen or stunned and stuff like that, so that's something you want to watch out for as well. So moving through the Western Forest, we obviously want to be pretty careful of these exploding ones, the martyrs. So you can sort of just kill those down like I'm doing now. Use your Quicksilver Flask to keep a little bit of distance and just kill those off with your AoE skills. Otherwise you can kind of run against them, set them off and move away, and you won't really get hit that way. But eating one of them isn't too bad, even with low fire resist, but if a few of them get you, especially if you can be stunned as well, and they hit you for a fair bit of damage and stun you, that can be a bit of a death sentence. So you do want to be a bit careful in here. Western Forest can be pretty overwhelming if you sort of try and run through it too much. That's why I'm kind of like running back a bit every now and then, collecting up a few mobs and then AoEing them down like this, especially because I have a blue and a rare, a blue pack and a rare as well here. I'm sort of not just running straight through the zone and collecting up the entire zone, because you can get overwhelmed when you first come into Western Forest. But just being a little bit more cautious by taking a few steps back, killing them off, and then progressing forwards like that. So you'll notice to grab the waypoint as well, make sure you do that. Leveling up chains, starting to get a bit of damage increase on it, it's pretty nice. Oh! Destroyed. But we're going to head to the end of this zone, so I'm going to collect up these guys here. And if I see another pack, I'll probably turn around and sort of kite these guys back a little bit. Just be conscious of the positioning where these mobs are. I'm aware that there's a pretty large pack just here, so I'm probably not going to be able to run through them, but I can sort of wiggle my way around this way. And I saw the extra pack coming there, so I've just wiggled my way around. You want to make sure you keep moving against these poison arrow ones as well, especially if your chaos resist is like mine, minus 52%. That'll hurt pretty bad. I'll see if I can actually get one of them to use one there, and I can show you how much it hurts. Wait for my potion to go. No, I'm gonna have to kill these guys off, it's a pain. But you get the idea, it's a pretty high damage dot. It'll work your health down pretty quickly if you stand around in it for a bit too long. And this guy's pretty tough. Life regen and elemental resist. Alright, so I've just found the barricade. I'm gonna be careful and sort of clear out all these guys here. I've had tons of blue mobs in here, really nice XP. Oh, I thought that was a 5-link then. 5-link compound bow. That could be good, that could be good. Oh, no luck, unfortunately. But I just sort of started stepping my way, working these guys out. Especially when you're facing the archers, you want to make sure you're circle strafing them as well. So sort of like attacking, running in an angle around them to avoid their projectile attacks. You can avoid the vast majority of projectile attacks by doing that. We're actually stunning that guy with frenzy attacks, so that's pretty nice. But just as long as you keep moving, you can avoid the majority of this damage in here. So it's pretty good stuff, especially now that we have a decent amount of run speed. It makes it a lot easier, and we can use our Quicksilvers as well. So here we go, here's the captain. I'll probably just use totems and stuff to kill him. It'll do a fair bit of damage, but I should be able to leech the... why aren't you attacking the totem? Look, it's decoying you. Go for the totem. There we go. Come on, what's going on here? I guess I'll use my Jade Flask and tank him for a while then. I'm able to leech okay once I got the Jade Flask up as well. But I'll probably have to back off if he attacks me too much here. Whoa, there we go. Yeah, he hits hard when he does that double strike. Let's temporal him again there. Keep him distracted. Recast my totem. Working him down. Slow him down again. An increased duration on temporal chains would be nice. Or maybe I should really try and get an enfeeble gem. I prefer the enfeeble curse overall. It'd be nice to be running that instead of temp chains. But temp chains and enfeeble both solid defensive curses. I prefer enfeeble because it's like a guaranteed damage reduction. And when we're a sort of a sustain based build, where this sort of build is designed to take damage but resist it and heal it pretty quickly. Enfeeble works really well then. Temp Chain sort of stops you from getting hit and lets you avoid bigger hits much easier, which is nice in its own way. But I like just taking guaranteed less damage from Enfeeble is really nice. And there's the Thaumatic Seal, so we can actually go back to town now and grab our passive skill point. I'm interested to see where we're up to on the passive tree. Actually, I haven't looked at it yet. Back to Act 1, and we might as well go grab Fairgraves as well now. So we've done the progression, we've done to Fellshrine, we can do Fellshrine runs now. You can even do those for a while before going to Western Forest, but I've just gone to Western Forest now because I knew I'd be pretty confident through there. So we'll get back to Act 1, we'll grab the passive point for this, and then we'll go do the Fairgraves quest as well, which was a bit scary to do before because of all the Flicker Strikers in there, and it's a higher level zone as well, but we're progressed a little bit further now. We're probably right to go back. So let's check out our new passive here. Did you get that attack speed node? Let's see, where are we up to? I can't actually remember what I was heading through. I've got the last chance to shock. There's a life and chaos node there that's pretty good. There's lots of extra little life nodes we can get, which will all be quite good. We could start heading down into the Marauder. I believe we're going into the Marauder zone. Otherwise I can head up and grab Aspect of the Eagle. Oh, actually, in this build we were going to go down and take Heavy Draw now. I remember I slightly modified the build to take advantage of this nice new cluster here with the 4% max life and damage on there. Not to mention this last node that's 18% damage with 4 max life and stun duration. So I think I'll head down there. It's going to take us 2 passives to get started on it, but that'll get us started. We're doing pretty well in terms of our life. Our max life now is really high, and we can really easily start grabbing some more nodes and then later on head into the Marauder area. I think we're still going there. I need to actually double check my planned build, but I will head down into Heavy Draw now. So going back into the ship graveyard, just taking the waypoint there. We don't need to go talk to Fairgraves. You can just go do the quest and go turn it in straight at him. All this stuff should be pretty easy now, level 55. Probably don't really even need to worry about killing stuff in here. It's not going to give me that much experience. But rare rowers are still a bit of a risk, especially when I'm vulnerability cursed as well. Oh! I ran straight into that pack of rowers. See if I can find the boat. Should be somewhere in this area, probably down a bit. And here it is. Alright, so we'll sort of test out this area, see how it feels. Ship graveyard. And we can use decoy totems to attract the attention of most of the Flicker Strikers, but I'll see if I can get one to attack me first. Yeah, not too bad. I should be able to just use life gain on hit to get through these guys pretty easily there. But if you're progressing through here and you're a little bit unsure, the best strategy for moving through this zone, the best practice is to just throw your decoy totem forwards. You'll see they'll mostly like flicker onto it instead of you, and then you can even stack up on your decoy totem to stop them from flickering as well. They do tend to run away every now and then, like that guy did just then. But we should be able to work them down pretty easily and just use decoy totems against the larger packs there. Oh, we had a map drop. I think that's our first map drop, is it? Wow, pretty early too, back here in, what's this, level 59 zone. That's a pretty early map drop. Pretty uncommon, not unheard of, certainly. But I've had some slightly lower area levels drops than that, I think. But not too bad. Starting to work on our map base. You'll, if you haven't encountered the Path of Exile endgame yet, you'll see what those are for moving forwards, but that's essentially an itemized zone. We can put that in a machine and it'll allow us to open up a random map, and it's themed to the Tropical Island sort of tile set. And we get random mobs in there as well, and we start progressing through that. By clearing that, we have a chance at dropping higher level maps, so this is a level 66 map. We can potentially get level 67 and level 68 maps in it. And as you move higher through the maps, you get better loot and more XP, and that's the biggest way to progress your character. When you start to get really high levels, around level 70 is where the map system really starts to take off, and we're just level 61 now, so we have a little while to go. But we'll probably be there soon in this series, which I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to as well. And I'm pretty keen to take this guy into maps as well, and see how we go with it. But we can just skip this mob now. I don't really need to stand around and fight that unique mob. I don't really drop that much extra to waste my time in there, and because this is a lower sort of area zone as well. We'll take the Oil Flame back, and oh man, large pack there. Let's work these guys down for a bit of extra XP before going and killing Fairgraves. Alright, let's leave those guys now. Okay, so we want to use some cheats, put our decoy totem before talking to Fairgraves, and then we're just gonna run. And if we had our offensive curses or something like that, we could cast those as well now. But Fairgraves really isn't that hard, but sometimes getting surrounded in there is not the best idea. Fairgraves himself hits pretty hard, as you can see. I popped a Jade Flask just then, and using potions and the leech from my Frenzy, I'm sort of just able to tank through it, but it's still pretty rough. I could probably get us some endurance charges if I wanted, and that would help as well. I should probably work on doing that a little bit more often. But what's our actual Enduring Cry? We have stopped it at level 7 now, so that's set up for our cast when damage taken setup, which we'll be getting onto a little bit later. But spell damage, cast speed, critical strike chance, mana. That's actually not too bad a spell casting staff. The roll on the spell damage is a little bit low for a two-hander, I think, but it's not too bad. I might keep that. So we can head back and grab our passive now. Unfortunately, just another dex node. Ah, well. And there we'll go ahead and grab this. It always sucks when you're like getting into end game and you're like kind of, have to take so many just dex or strength or int nodes to get to the next good set of juicy nodes like this. You feel like, nothing's happening. But when you finally start to get into it, it's good. That's why I actually try and do most of the highway traveling, like all of this stuff. Earlier on when you're getting levels a lot quicker. You know, there's not that much of a practical difference, but it just feels a lot better. But it's a good idea, at least in the more practical sense, to make sure you have like the vast majority of your big life nodes and big damage nodes as early as possible, and sort of set yourself up so that you can start just taking good effect nodes when you get to endgame, like what we're doing now. We've set ourselves up now for when we progress through levels. Every one of these is going to give us a significant damage and life boost as well, so that's going to be pretty nice. Now, I actually managed to get a Chaos drop in that Flicker Striker zone as well, doing the Fairgraves quest, which is not bad, not a bad little payment, and we've done pretty well. We didn't find any big gear drops or anything like that, but we managed to get our progression done, and we went back and got our passives in this one. But we got our first endgame map as well, so we should probably create a maps tab. Let's do it here. Let's go, let's go grey, and we'll go maps. And we'll chuck these guys over here. We don't need maps for quite a while yet, but starting our map pool, we're going to want to certainly add a lot more than that before we really get into it, but that's a good start. You got to start somewhere. So that's been pretty good. I'm in the next episode we'll take on we'll probably go straight into progression for Merciless Act 2. We might actually do a bit of trading though, see if we can get some more gear upgrades. Just taking stock, I'd still like to upgrade quite a few of my different pieces here. Like, I could definitely do some jewelry upgrades. That's not too bad, we just upgraded that recently. The boots aren't too bad. All of our gear's kind of okay. It'd be really nice to get better stats on this if possible. I wonder if we could actually just try and alch this now even. We have, what do we have, life and a small amount of resist. Think about losing. What am I going to lose by scouring this? I'm going to lose that much. I don't actually have any scourings at the moment, so that kind of screws that idea. Might just be better. It might be just worth more waiting and buy a better 5-link instead. We have a decent amount of currency to do so. But I will get into that in the next episode, do a little bit of trading, then finish off Act 2. We should be able to pretty much finish the rest of the act by that point. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.